Welcome to the Comedy MX Classic Comedy Channel. Classic as in Laurel and Hardy, Our Gang, Buster Keaton, and Charlie Chaplin.
Thank you, boys. Where you be when I need you?
Right here.
Okay.
I told you not to make that last payment.
Laugh Out Loud comedy, as in cartoons, TV shows, features galore, or the campy giant claw. Chuckle and guffaw the night away as you binge watch CMX Classic Comedies.
That's my little Margie. I've been both mother and father to her since she was born. She's grown up now, and you think my job is all done, eh? Well, that's what you think. When she was little, I could spank her and make her mind me. I had control over her. I made her eat her spinach, no candy before meals. And when she disobeyed, I took her roller skates away for a week. But what can you do when a girl reaches this age? She's completely out of hand. I've got a problem, believe me. I've got a problem.
That's my father. I've raised him from childhood. That is, my childhood. He's nearly 50 now, and you'd think he'd settle down, wouldn't you? Well, that's what you think. Today, he looks better in shorts on a tennis court than fellas 25. Girls wink at him, and what's worse, he winks back at them. I want a nice, old, comfortable father. I try to look after him, but he just won't settle down. I've got a problem, believe me, I've got a problem.
Charlie, I'll be right with you. Yes. We may as well say goodnight here. There's no use asking for trouble.
All right. You'll have to kiss me like that more often.
Oh, excuse me.
Hey, wait for me. Well, looks like you're stuck for another good night kiss. Come on, walk me to the door.
What about your father?
Oh, we'll be quiet.
You know, every time your father approaches me, I automatically fondle my Blue Cross card.
Oh, he's all talk. He wouldn't hurt you.
Oh, talk? You mean like last night when he talked a 3-inch rip down the back of my tweed jacket?
Well, considering it was nearly 2 a.m., a 3-inch rip isn't bad.
No, it was a nice little rip for 2 a.m. Sometime I'll have to try one of his 5 a.m. specials. They go all the way down the jacket, one trouser leg, and in good weather you can watch your argyle separate in a brilliant spectacle of color.
Oh, Freddie, stop talking and kiss me goodnight again.
There's nothing like a good night kiss.
Come on in.
Yeah, but your father.
Oh, didn't I tell you he's out for the evening?
He's out? Well, why didn't you tell me?
Well, it's like you said, Freddie. There's nothing like a good night kiss. When a fella's sure it's his last kiss, he puts everything he's got into it. And the way I've worked it, we've already had 2 last kisses and still have 1 to go. Come on, I'll whip us up a snack.
Are you positive about your father? It's nearly midnight.
Will you stop worrying? Dad won't be home before 3 or 4, maybe later.
Where'd he go?
He took Roberta to the opening of the new Angio Piazza show.
Oh, hey, but that's over by now. No show runs this late. Look, I better be going.
Don't be silly. I said he took Roberta. You know what that means. They won't be in till all hours. I've got to do something about her.
I thought you liked Roberta.
Sure, I like her for anybody but Dad. Every time he takes her out, he thinks he has to do the town like some college boy. He's too old to be out dancing half the night. He ought to be home in bed.
You'd look kind of silly dancing in bed.
Freddie, it isn't a joke to me. Dad's nearly 50, but reminding him of it only makes him more stubborn. I wish Roberta would fall for somebody else.
Well, you could always toss some handsome guy her way. Get her married off.
You may think that's funny, but I've seriously considered it. Trouble is, Roberta's so darn picky. She wouldn't go for just anybody. It'd have to be somebody really special to beat Dad's time.
I wonder how Piazza's new show is.
Oh, he's always great.
Yeah, terrific guy.
You like him? I thought most men hated him because they're envious of his good looks.
You want to know something?
What?
If Piazza ever saw you, he'd envy me.
Just for that, I'll give you a choice. Cheese on rye or cheese on white?
How about a slice of both, huh?
What's that for?
Just in case.
Freddie, will you relax? I told you Dad won't be home for hours.
I'm sorry, but I just don't agree with you. Just a second, and we'll let Charlie give us his opinion.
But, Vern, it's such a silly thing to argue about. Darling, it's not that important.
Of course it isn't, but it won't hurt to prove that I'm right. Now, Charlie, give me your honest opinion. What do you think of Angio Piazza? You've seen him, haven't you?
Not on the stage, but I caught him in a couple of television shows.
Okay, now tell me what you think of him. Don't let me influence you, but just say what you think. I'll be very surprised if a man of your intelligence doesn't agree 1,000% that Piazza's a stuffy, sticky ham and not too handsome either.
Gee, Mr. Albright, I'd like to go along with you, but I think the guy's got something. Why, if I had a face like his, and all the girls would be swooning over me.
All right, Charles, all right.
You're not mad at me, are you, sir?
You're entitled to your own opinion.
But you didn't say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
You're coming in for nightcap, aren't you?
Well, from your general attitude, I thought you'd cancel the invitation.
Oh, Roberta, dear, let's not be childish. Let's forget about the whole thing, okay?
Okay.
I get some more milk. Guess who?
Give me a hint.
Sit down, dear. I'll get some ice.
Still can't guess. Give me another clue. I think I'm getting warm.
I'll give you a real clue. Margie, where are your hands?
I'm here. Why?
I think we have company.
Guess who?
I was just about to leave, Mr. Albright.
Now, Dad, take it easy. Think of your health.
Think of my health.
Leave me alone with Freddie just a minute, dear.
Oh, but Dad.
Don't worry. There won't be any trouble.
All right.
Relax, Freddie. I just want to ask you a simple question.
Sure, Mr. Albright.
Now, here's the deal. I know how Margie feels about a certain party, so I'm not going to bother asking her. But you see, Miss Townsend and I had a slight disagreement tonight, and although I don't mind losing an argument once in a while, I do like to feel that there's somebody on my side. Do you follow me?
Not at all, but whatever it is, sir, I'm on your side.
Good, good. You know, somehow I don't recall coming in here and seeing you kissing Margie.
Swell. Now, what's the lie you want me to tell?
Well, Roberta and I saw a play tonight.
And then he became so infuriated, we left the Copa without even dancing once.
Just because the waiter said he liked Angio Piazza?
Oh, Ghost. That name is poison to your father, as of right now. But he'll get over it.
Roberta, my dear.
Yes, Vern.
About Angio Piazza.
Oh, Vern, no more tonight, please.
But, dear, I thought it'd be kind of nice to hear what Freddie has to say.
No, Freddie. Don't say anything.
Why not? I'm entitled to an opinion.
Go home, Freddie. Go now. Don't say a word.
Margie, please. What do you say, Freddie? What do you think of Angio Piazza?
I think he's a bum. Strictly a no-talent bum. Kind of goony, too.
Well, Roberta, dear.
Vern Albright, I've had just about all of this that I can stand for one evening. I've seen you in childish moods before, but never quite so ridiculous. I like Angio Piazza, and I plan to keep right on liking him. I think he's perfectly charming and extremely handsome. We can't all have an Angio Piazza, but we can dream. Put that under your pillow and sleep on it. Good night.
Wait, Roberta. You and your big mouth.
But, Mr. Albright.
Go home. And don't come back.
Freddie?
Margie, this place confuses me. It confuses me.
Oh, I'm sorry. But listen, remember what we were talking about marrying Roberta off?
Margie, you're getting that look in your eye. Good night.
Oh, Freddie, wait. You heard her yourself. She's crazy about Angio Piazza.
Margie, look, you've done some of the craziest things I've ever heard of, but if you think you can get to the biggest star of the season, honey, it's impossible.
Well, there must be some way, Freddie. Think of something.
Oh, stop dreaming, baby. There isn't a chance. Well, the guy doesn't even answer his telephone unless it's Morton Warnock or some big producer like that calling.
Morton Warnock?
You're getting that look again.
It just might work.
Margie, the elevator's coming. Kiss me goodnight.
I'm sure it'll work.
Good night, Margie.
Yes, that's right. May I speak with him, please?
Mr. Morton Warnock's secretary, Mr. Piazza. He's the producer, sir.
Oh, who cares about him? He's a lady young and beautiful.
Oh, she sounds young.
Then she must be beautiful. I shall insist upon it. Angio Piazza speaking.
Mr. Piazza, Mr. Warnock is giving a little cocktail party today at 5, and he'd like very much to have you come.
I won't be able to stay very long, but I shall be delighted to drop in. She's a vision.
Yes?
Angio Piazza's secretary.
Angio Piazza's secretary. Put her on. Hello?
Mr. Warnock, Mr. Piazza is giving a little cocktail party today at 5, and he'd like very much to have you come.
Margie, are you serious? How did you ever manage to get him to...
Oh, he's very charming. He accepted without question.
Oh, well, naturally I'd like to meet him. That little disagreement we had last night wouldn't be anything compared to what your father would...
Oh, don't worry about that. Dad won't be home until late tonight. Just come and enjoy yourself. Oh, and if you want to, bring some other girls along.
All right, Margie, I will. Bye.
Yeah? Oh, sure. You invited him just for Roberta. What? Well, I think you invited him for yourself.
What's the matter with you? I thought you liked him.
I like him fine up on the stage, but not around you. Who's a jealous stoop? Well, okay, goodbye.
Now, Dad, what'll I do about him?
Yes. My daughter? Oh, sure, put her on. Hi, dear, what's up? Mr. Horton? Well, why did he call there?
He said he couldn't reach you at your office. You know how long-distance calls are sometimes. Anyway, he wants you to meet him at...
Client or no client, this is ridiculous. What plane will he be on? You don't know? Well, there's the 6:10 plane, the 8:30 plane, the 10:30 plane. All right, I'll meet all three of them. Thanks, honey.
Angio Piazza.
So if you'd let me borrow your maid for a couple of hours, I'd really appreciate it, Miss Odetts.
Do you think I could get a peek at him, Margie?
Certainly, you can join the party.
You've got yourself a maid.
Aw, thanks a million, Miss Odetts. Send her over right away.
Excellent cocktail.
Let me get you another.
Thank you. I can't understand why our host hasn't spoken to me yet. A bit unusual, don't you think?
Host?
Yes, Angio Piazza. Who invited you, Miss Townsend?
Oh, Mr. Piazza, of course.
Have you met the host yet?
Host? You mean hostess, don't you?
Morton Warnock.
Miss Townsend. At least, that's who invited me.
Oh, excuse me, Mama.
Of course.
Shall we sit down?
Mr. Warnock.
Oh, Mr. Piazza. Delightful party. A charming friend of yours I was just chatting with.
She's my friend?
Well, of course, you have so many lady friends.
I don't seem to recall the face, but the ankle looks slightly familiar, however.
Delightful party, and I want to thank you for
Mr. Warnock, you should not thank me. I should thank you. After all, you're the one who...
Your drink, Mr. Warnock.
Thank you.
Suppose we ask the young lady. Should the guest thank the host or the host thank the guest?
Well, I say I should thank you.
Ridiculous, Warnock. I should thank you.
Such charming, gracious gentlemen. Suppose we give you both your way. Together now, say thanks.
Splendid.
How ingenious.
Together.
Thank you.
I'm going to steal Mr. Piazza. Mr. Warnock, do you mind?
No, but I'd much rather if you'd steal Mr. Warnock. But you go right ahead.
Shall we go out on the balcony? I want to talk to... Oh, I'll be right back. Excuse me.
Who's the young lady?
Why, don't you know her?
No, who is she?
I don't know.
Excuse me, miss. I'm an old friend of Mr. Piazza's. He said it would be all right if I dropped by. That all right with you, miss?
Jones is the name. Sam Jones, an old-timer in the theatrical business.
Freddie Wilson, go home.
Well, if you really invited that guy for Roberta, why should I go home?
All right. But don't you dare mess things up for me. I've got to get him alone and sell him on Roberta. Go on in. I'll see who this is. Miss Odetts.
Where is he?
In the living room.
Huh.
I'll introduce you. Mr. Warnock, Mr. Piazza, may I present Miss Odetts?
How do you do?
Angelo Piazza.
Madame.
Oh, there we are. Now maybe we can get that fresh air.
Good.
Oh, hi, Roberta. Freddie. Yeah.
You say you want to talk to me about a woman. You have chosen my favorite subject.
Well, this woman, she thinks you're wonderful.
Thank you so much. Tell me more about this woman.
Well, she's very mature, very warm, and just the right age. Mellow, possessing an understanding one acquires only with experience.
I think I understand what you mean. One that you know can't cook, but you don't care.
Oh, but she can cook. Oh, please, Mr. Piazza, you've just got
Please
to...
call me Angio.
All right. Angio.
And what is your name?
Margie. Margie Albright.
Margie. To say that I'm intrigued is putting it mildly. Suppose you come to my apartment tomorrow night at 6 for dinner. We discuss the matter more thoroughly.
You want me to come to your apartment?
The Sky Tower Arms apartment, 1200.
Well, all right. But I was hoping you'd want to do something about it right now.
Tomorrow at 6. I promise I shan't disappoint you then.
Dad?
Yeah, it's me.
Where have you been?
What are you, a joker? I've been down to that darn airport and I've met every flying contraption that's ever been built.
Oh. Oh, yes, the airport.
Mr. Horton never showed up. Client or no client, I don't care how big a client he is. I'm going to call him right now and tell him off.
It wasn't Mr. Horton's fault. It was my fault.
Your fault?
He called back right after I called you. He said to tell you he'd changed his plans. He wasn't going to come.
He said to. And why didn't you call me?
I forgot.
You forgot. You forgot. And I've been waiting out there all this time, and you just forgot.
I think I'll go to bed before you get angry.
Get angry? What do you think I am now?
Dad, there's something else I want you to know. Everything I do is for your own good. I'd do anything to see you happy.
Like not calling and letting me go to the airport?
Well, even that was a big favor, only you don't realize it at the moment. I'd even lie if I thought it was for your own good. Remember that, just in case you find out that I maybe told a little fib somewhere along the line.
Oh, I get it. Your conscience is bothering you, eh? Margie, I demand to know what you're talking about.
I've said all I'm going to say.
Margie, come back here. Margie.
I'm past 21 and you can't boss me around.
As far as I'm concerned, you're still a child.
I'm not a child.
You're a child, you're going to do as I say. Now tell me
I'm
what...
not a child.
I know you're 21, but to me, you're still a little girl.
Little girl, huh? I suppose you think a little girl could have a date with a man like Angio Piazza.
Stop being ridiculous.
Ridiculous, huh? Well, get this. This little immature girl, this little ungrown-up child is having dinner with Angio Piazza at his apartment tomorrow night.
A date with Angio Piazza. Could it be possible?
Oh, Mr. Albright, I was just bursting with pride.
I'm looking for Margie. I just came home from the office and I
The dear
can't...
little thing was probably so excited she forgot to tell you. She left just a few minutes ago.
Left? For where?
For Mr. Piazza's apartment.
Angio Piazza?
Yes. Goodness, you miss everything. He was in your apartment yesterday afternoon.
What? Did she say where he lived?
I believe Margie said the Sky Tower Arms. You should at least telephone. It's very annoying to have unexpected guests drop in on you for dinner. Oh, don't you know, she has a date with Angio Piazza.
Yeah, I knew about that date, but I didn't think Margie'd go through with it.
Oh, I do hope Mr. Piazza has some extra canned goods on hand.
The boy will be here with dinner in a moment.
Oh, fine.
White, soft, and lovely as the pale winter moon, yet warm and fragrant as a tropical night.
That's awful corny, but it knocks me out. I'm a right-handed smoker. May I?
Oh, yes, of course, my dear. You know, I've been thinking quite a bit about that lovely lady you spoke of last evening.
Yes?
I'm sure that she and I could get along together splendidly.
Oh, but I've hardly told you anything about her.
You like me my way?
Your way?
I originated it. I will show you. Now, suppose we try without the cigarette.
But how could we without cigarettes?
Why do you push me away, Margie, dear?
Why did you kiss me?
Well, why not stop all this nonsense and admit with a kiss, with your heart and soul, that you are the woman?
What woman?
The woman who's crazy about me.
Holy mackerel.
Hey, fella, loan me your jacket and let me take that card in and I'll give you $10.
I'm way ahead of you.
Mr. Albright.
Yes, and I don't need any help. I'll handle this.
You've got to believe me, Mr. Piazza.
Angio.
I didn't mean me.
Margie, I understand you are timid. That is why you didn't come out and say it was you from the start. Our dinner. A few glasses of champagne, some food, you will not be so shy.
I know something else I won't be. I won't be here because I'm leaving.
Well, you're acting like a little girl.
Little girl. You ought to be ashamed of yourself luring me up here. Goodbye.
Margie. Margie, dear.
Angio, darling.
Unchangeable as a woman.
Hold me.
Till the end of time, till the well runs dry.
Till the waiter leaves.
Oh, Margie, as you say, you knock me out. All right, boy, you may serve. Margie, I'm going to say something to you I have never said to any other girl.
What is it, Angio?
I think I could really fall for you.
And you've never said that to any other girl.
If I'm lying, may there never be another sunrise.
It's going to be a long night tonight.
Did anyone speak to you?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. No offense, sir.
You know, I could spend the rest of my life here with you.
May I have your autograph, Mr. Piazza?
You're getting on my nerves, you know that?
Just wanted your autograph. You could put it on my cuff. I'll be the envy of the commissary.
Later, please. Later! You have lovely teeth, so white.
Hey, speaking of teeth, look at mine. People ask me why they're so white, but you see, it's only an effect. I have a dark mouth.
Say some more of those lovely things to me, Angie, dear.
Margie, words fail to express my feeling for you. Let this be my messenger. Get out of here. I'll serve dinner myself.
I'm sorry, sir. Union rules. I brought in the wagon. I got to serve.
Doesn't the union have rules about your making a nuisance of yourself?
Yes, sir. That's why when I serve, nobody even knows I'm around.
Serve the champagne.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm doing.
May I propose a toast to the most charming young lady I have ever met?
This is milk.
Why did you serve the young lady milk?
I'm not getting into any trouble serving minors. How do I know she's 21? Have you got a license or
Get
something?
out of my apartment.
I rang, but I guess nobody heard me. I'm here to fix the phone.
Margie, I'm sorry for all these interruptions. I'll get rid of these people. Just a moment.
Don't touch me.
Margie, just a moment ago you...
I'm leaving.
Margie, dear.
Vern Albright, what are you doing here?
I don't have to do any guessing as to why you're here.
Well, I have a perfectly good reason for being here, but I don't have to explain it to you.
Well, the question is, what am I doing here?
I'm taking my daughter home.
Your daughter?
And my girlfriend.
Get out of my apartment, all of you.
You can't push my father.
Being as you were having so much company, Mr. Piazza, I thought it would be nice if I stopped at the store and brought you some groceries.
I'm sorry I made such a fool of myself when I saw you there.
Well, I suppose it did look suspicious. But how were you to know that I was there for the same reason as you and Freddie?
We have our little differences, all of us, but we do stick together.
I'm glad you didn't really go for that character.
He kissed my hand.
Which one?
This one.
Go wash it.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I present a most gracious substitute for your regular host on the hour of symphonic charm, the romantic Angio Piazza.
So, Mr. Honeywell hasn't got the nerve to tell me to my face that I can't take Margie to Hawaii with me. Just blows town and leaves a memo. All right, Betty, sit down and let's have it.
Quote, first find out if Knucklehead Albright has blabbed the client's name to Margie.
I never discuss business with Knucklehead.
That's just the way Mr. Honeywell talks. You know he always depends on you to handle the important deals. In fact, he's left this one entirely up to you, with a few suggestions.
Yeah, like make me break my promise to take Margie with me, but why?
Quote, our prospective client is Nan Carter, the famous movie star who is now semi-retired and living in Honolulu.
A big scoop. Everybody knows that.
What the public does not know is that Nan Carter has a grown son almost 30 years old whom she passes off as her nephew. To the world, she still poses as the youthful, glamorous movie star.
Well, so what?
Even in her business contacts, she favors younger men. Therefore, Albright must not show up in Hawaii with a grown daughter. Also, he is to dye his hair and mustache to look younger.
Dye my hair?
If Albright blows his cork, tell him our competitors, Conway and Staub, are sending Phil Hubbard, their top glamour boy, to snatch Nan Carter's account away from us.
Phil Hubbard, eh? Oh, he's the athletic type and a real ladies' man. That's rugged competition.
I'll back you against him sight unseen.
Oh, thanks, Betty. Tennis has kept me in good shape, and if I touch up my hair a little, by golly, I'll do it.
Here's your new ticket. The plane leaves tonight.
Oh, but Margie already has our tickets for tomorrow's plane. What am I going to tell her?
Mr. Honeywell thought of that, too. Quote, tell Margie there's been a switch in plans, an emergency. Instead of Hawaii, you have to go to Nome, Alaska, or any place where she won't want to tag along.
Well, I have to admit it. The old boy thought of everything. Okay, take a memo to Mr. Honeywell. Number one, I am turning the original 2 tickets over to Margie with the instructions to cash them in and use the money herself. 2, said cash to be charged to Honeywell and Todd for expenses. 3, how do you like those apples, wise guy?
Now, don't fall for any of those Eskimo girls, Dad.
Oh, you're a piece to take it like this, honey. Now, remember, turn in those plane tickets and the money is all yours.
Thanks, Dad. You're swell.
Hey,
what's going on here, Vern? I thought we had a date tonight.
It's an emergency, Roberta. Dad's taking a plane for Alaska.
Yes, a big deal with an old sourdough up there. Oh, I'm sorry about our date tonight, dear, but when I come back, I'll make it all up to you. Well, aloha. I mean, mush.
Wouldn't you know this would happen when I had my heart set on Honolulu? Well, here's a consolation prize anyway. Dad said I could turn these tickets in and do anything I like with the money. But all I really wanted to do was go to Hawaii.
Well, what's stopping you?
Huh?
You got the tickets, and he said you could use the money any way you liked, didn't he?
That's what the man said.
And inasmuch as there are 2 tickets, and out of deference to your dear departed father, I wouldn't think of letting you go without a chaperone.
We'll start packing. Our plane leaves in the morning.
Good morning, Kalua. Am I the first one down for breakfast?
Miss Carter will be down any minute.
I'll work up an appetite with a few big gulps of this marvelous air. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I told you to hide
8.
these pictures of Tom while Mr. Albright and Mr. Hubbard were here.
I'm sorry, Miss
Carter. Now put it away and get out the ones that Tom signed your loving nephew.
14, 15, 16, 117, 118, 119.
My, athletics so early in the morning?
Oh, it's this air. It makes me feel like a kid again.
Nonsense, darling. You feel young because you are young. Why, you could be the leading man in one of my films. Tall, handsome, and not a gray hair in your head.
I imagine there are a few underneath. Appearances are deceiving sometimes, like the woman who was a decided blonde.
Oh?
You should have seen her before she decided.
I must confess that I touch up my hair occasionally, but only for screen roles, of course. See, I have just 1 or 2 nasty little gray intruders, but then I'm only 39.
Just like Jack Benny.
Huh?
I mean, 39 is a very famous age, and you're a very famous star.
And what about you, darling? You can't be much older than 39 yourself, are you?
Well, I just passed 41.
41. But how wonderful. And so young to be a widower and a successful investment counselor. You are a widower, aren't you?
Oh, yes, that's true. I mean, that's true. I'm free, unattached, and 41.
We're 2 of a kind, darling. Unattached and lonely. All I have is Tom, my nephew. Do you have children?
Well, yes, just a daughter.
Oh.
Oh, she's a sweet little thing, but I had to leave her home with her nurse. She's too young to travel.
Oh, just a baby. How darling. I'd love to see her if she's anything like her young, handsome father.
Oh, you must come to New York sometime. Honeywell and Todd believe in the personal touch with their new clients.
Not so fast there, Albright. The beautiful Nan isn't your client yet. I'll have something to say about that. Good morning, you gorgeous creature.
Control yourself, darling. Your rival will be jealous. Business rival, I mean, of course. Do you know Philip Hubbard?
Do I know this old goat? Hiya, Vern. What do you hear from the old age pension?
Oh, so you're old friends. How divine.
Not friends exactly, but we've met in a business way.
So, you know, there's something different about you, old man. You look a lot younger than I remembered. Haven't started dyeing your hair, have you?
Oh, come on, boys. Don't fight over little me before breakfast. Sit down, darling.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nan, but I never eat breakfast before my morning swim. How about you, Vern? Care to dunk the flab?
No, thanks. I'll sit here with Nan.
Oh, don't be an old fogey. It'll do you good. Come on your feet. I'll help you. See you later, beautiful lady.
I'm telling you the truth, girls. My aunt would be delighted to put you up while you're in the islands.
Oh, well, that's very nice of you, Mr. Carter, but...
Tom. Now, you don't want to spend your vacation in paradise at some hotel.
But, Mr. Carter, Tom, we just met you. Your aunt would scream if you dragged in house guests without warning.
But she loves to have people around. You know how movie stars are.
Movie stars? Carter. You mean your aunt is Nan Carter?
That's right. I'll even get her to throw a big luau if you'll come. You know, real native-style party. Oh, you'll have a lot of fun.
Well, I'd certainly like to meet Nan Carter.
And your father can't disapprove because he's in Nome, Alaska. Does that do anything for you?
Tom, you've got yourself a couple of house guests.
Swell.
Just listen to that ocean roar. Sounds like Dad when I've done something I shouldn't.
Now, there's no reason why we shouldn't have accepted Tom's invitation. And besides, we've never met a movie star.
Hi.
Hi. Ready to go down and meet the celebrities?
More movie stars?
No, these are just plain old businessmen, according to our maid, Kalua. I haven't met them.
Businessmen? Now, that's something more in my line.
Well, I'd better warn you, Roberta. Andy's probably got her eye on one of them, if not both.
Well, you go on ahead, Tom. I want to make sure I look just right. I've never met a movie star before.
Okay, Margie. I won't mention you girls until you make your entrance. We'll surprise Aunt Nan.
Come on, Roberta.
Oh, it couldn't be. Hello? Hello?
He's supposed to be in Alaska. We've got to get out of here. Roberta, you start packing. I'll go find Tom and tell him not to spill the beans.
Darling, what happened?
Well, you see, the screen was moving across the room, and I pretended I didn't see it until I had a chance to sneak up on it, and
Drunk. Plain, stinking drunk.
Oh, you must be Nan's nephew that I've heard so much about. My name is Albright, Vern Albright.
Albright? You wouldn't have a daughter, would you? I came over in the same plane with a Margie Albright. She and her companion are right upstairs.
Oh, fine, fine. I was just telling Nan all about my little... Margie? She is your daughter. Swell.
I brought Margie and her companion, Miss Townsend, over for the luau tomorrow night. I know you wouldn't mind.
Why, of course not, Tom. I thought you said Margie was a baby with a nurse.
Oh, I didn't say baby. You said baby. I just said little girl. And Roberta, Miss Townsend, she isn't her nurse. She's her companion, like Tom said. You did say companion, didn't you, Tom? Oh, I've got to stop them. I mean, little Margie will just be dying to see her daddy. Come on, Tom, we'll be right back, won't we? And if his mother finds out I've got a grown daughter, I'll be a dead duck.
Well, you can't blame me this time, Dad. You said you were going to Alaska.
Yeah, to see an old sourdough.
Oh,
That was just a little white lie for business reasons.
And what's with that trick dye job on your hair? That's one white lie that turned black pretty fast. And don't tell me that's business.
As a matter of fact, it is. Phil Hubbard, who's my competition in this deal, is only about 40. And Nan, Miss Carter, prefers, she'd rather...
I'll bet she would.
What he's trying to say is, Mother likes her men young, even businessmen.
I see. Well, forgive me if I don't stick around for this middle-aged ogling match.
You can't leave now, either of you. Don't you understand? I've got to produce a child.
Dad, you mean you want me to play a little kid?
There's no other solution. Honey, I'm in an awful jam. You've got to help me.
I think it's a terrific idea. Mother's been pulling the same gag with me for years. Now she's going to have it pulled on her. Come on, Margie, you can do it.
But what about clothes? These things aren't exactly rompers, you know.
Well, I'll go into town and get some kid stuff. And a uniform for you, Nursey.
I'm so sorry your little girl isn't feeling very well. I was disappointed I couldn't meet her last night.
She's all right this morning. You know how children are. They recuperate quickly. As a matter of fact, she's gone for a walk on the beach with her nurse.
Just how old is she, Dad? Margie, I mean.
Margie? Let's see now.
Going on 12, isn't she? That's what she said on the plane.
Oh, that's right, Tom.
Here she comes now.
See what I found on the beach, Daddy, here?
Oh, now, baby, where are your manners? Oh, you haven't met our hostess, Miss Carter. This is my daughter, Margie. And her nurse, Roberta Townsend.
Miss Carter, this is the happiest moment of my short young life. Think of little me meeting the most beautiful and glamorous movie star in the whole world.
How sweet of you, darling. But aren't you an awfully big girl for 12 years old?
Yes, ma'am. I eat a lot. Daddy says when I'm 13, I can have a girdle.
Aren't you going to say good morning to Uncle Tom? Oh, I think it's about time I got married, so I could have someone like Margie for my very own. How about a kiss for your Uncle Tom? Pay for that lollipop I gave you on the plane.
Tom, cut that out. Margie has a little cold, and you'll catch it.
I'm just like Daddy. So affectionate.
Oh, I think I'll go for a swim.
Mr. Hubbard, telephone call from New York. Mr. Conway.
Oh, boss checking up on you, eh, Phil?
Hello? Oh, hello, Mr. Conway. No, not much progress yet. Albright's playing it pretty cool. He even sent for his daughter to flatter Nan into taking his deal. Yeah, that's right. She's a big lot of a kid, too, for 12 years old. What? Oh, you must be mistaken. She's got pigtails. In her 20s. Why, that dirty crook. Say, wait a minute. Do you happen to know a girl by the name of Roberta Townsend? Albright's girlfriend? Say, this is perfect. Yes, Mr. Conway, I have got an idea. Oh, no, I'm not going to expose Albright. I'm going to let his girlfriend do it for me. That's right. Hello, Miss Townsend. I've been waiting for you. I just couldn't bear to think of a pretty girl like you going to the luau without an escort. Mr. Albright will be pretty busy with his new flame as usual.
And just how busy is he, usually?
The situation's completely out of control, I'm afraid. I've resigned myself to losing the account. It's only natural that Nan would sign with her fiancé.
Fiancé? Do you mean he's going to marry her?
Well, the way he's been romancing her, I'm sure he'd do the right thing. Shall we go?
talking that hangover from silent pictures.
Now, Roberta, take it easy.
They do make a handsome couple, don't they? Wouldn't surprise me if they announced their engagement tonight.
It's past little Marge's bedtime. You better take her upstairs and tuck her in. And stay with her, won't you?
Oh, darling. It's her first luau. Let her enjoy it a little longer.
Oh, Miss Carter, you're an angel. Just like you were in Roses from Heaven.
Oh, did you like me in that?
Like you? I positively swooned.
Pass me the cigarettes before I swoon.
That dress you wore in the love scene was the living end. But then you don't need gorgeous clothes to make you look dreamy. Not with the divine figure you've got. I'm only 12, but golly, you look younger than I do.
Margie, put that cigarette down.
What cigarette? Oh, this cigarette. I was just lighting it for Daddykins.
Margie, I've told you time and time again not to light my cigarettes. Miss Townsend, this is all your fault.
My fault?
Yes, you haven't been strict enough with her. Now, you take her upstairs at once and stay there, and that is an order.
Come on, Nursey. Daddy's right. Margie did a naughty.
You go ahead if you want to, but I'm not going to let that woman hook your father.
Hook him? What do you mean?
That Hubbard character told me that Pop's on the verge of popping the question. And if he does, what I'm going to throw ain't rice.
Nan, I know this is no time to talk business, but the deal that I have to offer you is attractive.
Also the man offering it?
Oh, I don't know about that. After all, I am what I am.
Oh. Now, Roberta, don't get all steamed up. I'm sure Dad's not serious about her.
Oh, darling, you're so masterful. I'm so glad we found each other.
Roberta, what are you doing?
I'm going to put out the fire. You don't want that for a stepmother, do you?
Why wait any longer? Why not make the decision tonight?
Anything to make you happy, darling.
Man the pumps, girl.
This will be quite a blow to my rival there.
What's the matter, darling?
It isn't raining tonight, is it? Must be a heavy dew.
You're right, darling. It's unusually damp for this time of the year.
Does the tide come up this far?
I'll put it in overdrive.
Very funny, Albright. Oh, Nan, darling, I didn't mean to soak you.
You idiot! You're just jealous of Vern. Get out! Get out of my house!
He get out. What about Albright, that phony daughter of his? She's in her 20s, and I can prove it. And that nurse. That isn't a nurse, that's his girlfriend.
Vern, is this true?
Well, yes, in a sort of a way, but I can explain. Oh, Nan, wait. Oh, you stool pigeon.
Please, Miss Carter, you've got to listen to me. You can't blame Dad. It was all my fault. Tom, can't you make her listen?
I think I can. That's about time, too. Come on, Margie.
All right, Hubbard. Take your beating like a man.
You're out of your class, all right. Please don't make me hit an old man.
Never mind the ethics. Just belt him one for me.
Come on, Mom. You can't blame Mr. Albright for doing the same thing you've been doing all these years.
Well, I guess I have been very silly. Forgive me, son.
Then you'll forgive Dad and go through with the deal like the swell person you are in your pictures. And I have seen all of them, honestly.
Nan? Oh, Nan, please, you've got to listen.
Margie has explained everything. Now, come on. I want to tell the others that you're handling all my business affairs from now on. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a happy announcement to make concerning me and this charming gentleman at my side. You're thinking of saying I do to that woman. You'd better get a snorkel tube.
Roberta, you don't understand.
Women, you just can't win.
You know, Dad, I'm glad you let your hair go back to its natural color. You're much handsomer this way.
Really? Well, thank you, Margie. As a matter of fact, Roberta likes it better, too. She says that the white is very distinguished.
Oh, yes, Dad. And not only that, it's also waterproof.
Well, that's my little Margie.